I'm Deanna Anderson. I'm an associate editor at GreenBiz. Thank you all for being part of the Built to Last, the Case for Durability breakout right now. So at GreenBiz, I cover the circular economy, and I'm super excited to be moderating this panel with Lauren Smith, who's here with us, and Christine Riley, Miller, who will be joining us shortly. So basically, this panel is kind of trying to make the case for durability at companies that are trying to move toward a circular economy, and also build sharing opportunities for keeping products in service. So I'll go over a little bit of logistics before I ask my first question. The first thing, Sydney, my colleague, just pinned a survey to the chat. Once this is done, I ask that you all take that survey and give us some feedback. Also, at the end, we'll have about 5 minutes for Q&A, so feel free to put your questions there, and I will try to grab one or two of those for our panelists to answer. All right, that is it. So Lauren Smith is the Product Sustainability Manager at Columbia Sportswear. And once Christine Riley Miller gets here, she is the Director of Sustainability at Samsonite, which also owns the brand Tumi, so that's your luggage. So, you know, these companies are very well suited for making the case for sustainability because you want both of those things to be sturdy and durable. All right, so my first for you all is how is your company's philosophy, or what is your company's philosophy around durability?
I'll jump in. I don't know if Christine's on the line yet, but for London, there she is. Perfect timing. We're just jumping in on what's our philosophy on durability. You know, for Columbia, quality and durability, they're built into our DNA. You know, we were founded over 80 years ago, and our products really means not only the longevity of our company, but it also means keeping you active and out there. Our products truly embrace our built to last ethos, you know, and that's what we're known for. That's why our products are passed down through the generations.
Christine, I'm gonna ask you that same question. Welcome. Excited to have you join our conversation.
Sorry.
No worries. So the question was, how would you describe your company's philosophy around durability?
Sure. So we're similar to Lauren. Durability is really built into Samsonite's DNA as well. We've been around for 110 years, and you know we really look at how to use durable materials, how we increase the repairability, and that's intended to keep all of our products on the road as long as we can, on the trail, on the tarmac, whatever that might be, so that you have the best travel experience. And it also decreases the burden on the landfill. You know, there's not really a good option for recycling luggage at this point. So the longer we can keep that out of the landfill and on the road, better for everyone and the planet.
Definitely. So something that was in the description of this session and something that comes up when just talking to companies about durability is the potential to have an impact on sales and customer loyalty. So I'm curious if you all can share what the impact of having durable products has on those two things. And I will start with Christine, just back to you.
Yeah, people often ask, you know, if your products are durable, doesn't that mean that people are buying less luggage? But the truth is that, you know, people's travel needs change over time, you know, and you go from, from being the college student to being, business traveler to maybe wanting to go camping or nowadays road trips. So your needs change all the time. We are always introducing new products and new features. And so people often want to upgrade or replace or purchase new products. And when they know they can buy a product that they can count on, they can pass that product on, you know, the old one onto friends or family, and they're going to come back all the time to our product because they like the features. They know that we're known for innovation and durability, and they can count on that product really withstanding the rigors of travel. So it's not, you know, we don't worry about that from that perspective because we know that durability builds loyalty.
Yeah, 100% durability builds loyalty. we build our products so that people can stay outside and remain active for longer. You have to have the confidence in your gear that it's going to take you where you want to go. And so our customers know that, they're getting a quality product from us that's going to meet their needs. And, by consistently putting out durable, dependable products, we're also attracting new customers. The outdoor industry is attracting new participants all the time, even now when everybody, more so now when everyone's being sick of being cooped up inside. So, those new participants are going to need the gear that can keep them active and, take them along the road to their passions. So durability also helps us to earn a greater market share.
Definitely. That just reminds me, down the street, I live from an REI, and there's always the line of people like picking up
yes.
so that, they can go outside. So one question I have for the audience, just because at GreenBiz, we're constantly trying to make sure that people can take something away from our session. So what do you all think people who are working in the sustainability departments and design departments, what should they be thinking when they're trying to make the case for durability? What should they be thinking about? And I'll pass that to Lauren.
All right, great. I would really have to say for us, at least in the, apparel, outerwear, footwear, technical gear realm, durability and performance, they're truly intertwined. So people, like I was saying, they really rely on our products to get them to their destinations, to keep them active and safe. Our products have to keep people safe when you're in a driving rainstorm on the side of a mountain, or protect you from the sun when you're out on the water. So we have strict performance and safety attributes that are incorporated into our products to make sure people are safe and active, but also to make sure our products are kept in use longer to keep people out there and keep people active.
Yeah, and similarly, our products are designed to keep your possessions, your things safe. And so, one of the things that you need to think about when you're thinking about sustainability and durability is you never want to compromise for sustainability. And even as the, global lead for sustainability, I'm always clear with my colleagues that sustainability is important, but we always have to ensure that product quality and durability comes first, because that's, core to our DNA and what our customers really rely on. So we never want to compromise that. So you want to think about that. And I think, you also want to think about how can you contribute to the innovation that's happening in that material space. So always challenging the suppliers that you're working with, challenging yourselves to think about, what does sustainability mean? So one of the things that you often don't think about is that when you're traveling and you're thinking about the footprint of your travel, weight really contributes to fuel usage, for example, in planes. And so our luggage is designed to be lightweight. That helps you when you pack your bags full and you want to get it on that plane that has those weight restrictions. So the lighter the suitcase, the more you can bring. But it also means it's lighter for the for the actual travel experience, and it's helping to lighten that footprint a little bit. So there's a lot of different ways that you can think about durability, sustainability, and how you design that product. So make sure, that's the way I would challenge, is not just thinking about things like recyclability, but how does durability, how does repairability, how does that all fit into your overall sustainability story and your product story? There might be a lot of things you're already doing that aren't really in that traditional sustainability space.
That makes me think about my next question for you, Christine, which is, so you joined Samsonite about 1.5 years ago as the first global sustainability director. 2.5, sorry.
Yeah, 2.5.
So
2.5 years ago.
I know that early on in your time at Samsonite, you all did a materiality assessment. I'm curious if you can share how you're finding that assessment kind of impacts the work that you all are doing now around durability.
Yeah, we did a very comprehensive global materiality assessment. And one of the key findings was that my colleagues across the globe were really concerned about the footprint of our product. How do we make it? What materials are we sourcing? And also, what happens to that product? What happens to it through its life cycle and at the end of life? Well, as I mentioned earlier, there's no easy way for the consumer to recycle a suitcase at this point. So what we thought about was how do we how do we set a goal that's built on that outcome of the materiality, which is really looking at how do we both increase the sustainable credentials of our products over time, and how do we also continue to innovate around durability, around repairability, and around end-of-life use. So thinking about, are the materials that are going into those products recyclable, so that when you can actually more easily recycle a suitcase, you actually have a product that can be recycled. So thinking about it both from the inputs and the outputs, and not saying, well, we aren't there yet, so we're not going to think about it, but thinking about it along the continuum, all of the, of the value chain of that product, and really that came as a direct result of the feedback that we got from that the stakeholders who participated in that materiality
I saw you shaking your head, Lauren, so I wanted to see if you had anything to add to that, but if not, it's okay.
I 100% agree with you that, you need to think about, like you said, not only keeping the product in use longer, but what might happen to it in its second life, so to speak, and thinking about the different materials that you're placing within your product, how easily are those to recycle at end of life? Are there technologies that currently exist, or is that an opportunity to work with different industries to start to better, scale up those technologies and bring the whole industry along as one?
Totally. So we all know infrastructure needs to be built to support all of these products. But until then, there's going to be challenges in trying to make sure that your stuff is durable, and both luggage and outdoor gear needs to be durable, as we've already kind of discussed. So I'm curious if you can share any of the challenges that you have to weigh when it comes with sustainability and the materials for your products. Like, have you had to make any material changes to make sure that your products are durable, that you have to weigh sustainability with?
Yeah, I'll jump in. For us, in terms of materials, we have pretty rigorous standards on our material side for things like abrasion and whatnot. So we have to make sure that they stand up to it. But really what we're finding is through our durability and quality feedback mechanisms, we really look at that customer feedback. And what we're finding is that really it's the components, things like zippers, for example, that are the most common items that need to be repaired. So Mountain Hardware, for example, their repair warranty team, they get a lot of zippers. And the challenge there that we're working to come up with alternative solutions for is that they're hard for customers to replace on their own, especially in a technical jacket. So our design team's not only looking at how do we get a better quality zipper, particularly when you're really looking at every ounce that counts when you're purchasing ultralight performance gear. And that's when you may want to have more sustainable attributes in your gear, but remembering that, like Christine said earlier, the innovation may not necessarily keep pace with your aspirations. So how do we perhaps design our zippers to be more easily repaired by customers on their own, or perhaps what other materials could we use? So that's one of our biggest challenges, are our components.
Christine, did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, there's an interesting parallel with luggage as well, because zippers are also one of the biggest points of failure, because we all like to stuff our luggage as full as we can. So we have a couple of things that we've done. We have on two of our products, Tumi suitcases. If any of you own a Tumi and that zipper pull has snapped off, you can take that to any Tumi store and they'll fix that for you. So in the past, that bag might have been considered having reached the end of its useful life, but it actually can be easily repaired, and it's designed to snap off because that is a point that gets caught in doorways or luggage carousels or whatever. So you snap that off, you can snap it right back on. Samsonite brand, similarly, they created a zipper that the consumer can rip home, and that's going to be rolled out this year. So that's it snaps off, you bring that with you, you're on your trip, you snap it on, you go right back out on the road. We have similar technical backpacks with our brand Gregory that have, buckles and straps and other DIY replacement parts that we'll send out to the consumer so they can just repair it on their own. And so I think anything that we as companies can do to make it easier for the customer and the end user to repair those products themselves and keep those products on the road, again, it adds to the durability of that product, and it builds loyalty with the consumer.
So I have a question for you, Lauren. So I'm curious how Columbia has been thinking about how to keep products in stream and like what to do with the products at their end of life.
Right. So I'd say at Columbia, we really take a holistic approach when we look at the product. We look from, the design phase to the use phase all the way into end of life when we're, looking at the life cycle of our product. So for example, in our design phase, we have criteria for durability. So we follow and test to rigorous ASTM standards for durability and abrasion. But we also have our layered durability requirements. So for example, we'll think about how our customer might be using the product. Where might they have high abrasion points or high stress points? For example, high abrasion, you have kids' snow pants, right? Kids are always sliding around in the snow. So there's potential there on the knees or on the bottom where you're gonna have more abrasion. So we have a layered approach. We use thicker materials there. Same for high stress points. We strategically place darts in different places for better movement of the garments to make sure that you won't have any high wear or tear stress points. We also design for adjustability within our garments. So for example, we have something called our outgrow system. So again, focused towards, kids and snow gear, since they're growing so quickly and that product is perhaps, used only half of the year, we want to make sure that the product can grow with the children. So within that, we have threads within the arms or within the legs of pants that you can just snip, and it'll extend not only the sleeves or the pant legs, but also extend the life of that garment so that kids can use it from season to season. And it can also be passed then, through the family. And especially when we have those reinforced areas, it just helps the longevity of the product as well. And so that kind of blends into the use phase, which when our products, leave our stores and go into the hands of our customers, we want to make sure that we've also provided them with the knowledge on how best to care for those products. So we provide cleaning and care instructions, but also then have opportunity, like for example, with Mountain Hardware's warranty program, to send your jackets, your tents, whatever it might be, back in for repairs so that you can continue to use that gear and remain outside. We also look at our end of life phase too. We have Columbia's Rethreads program, and that's our product take back program. So through that, we encourage our customers to bring in their clothing and their shoes, clean, dry condition, but we'll also take back other brands as well. And we'll send those to our third party, ICO. And from there, they'll sort the products. So wearable items will find new homes on the secondhand market. And then those items that are no longer wearable then have the opportunity to give them new life as, say, insulation or stuffing, carpet padding, certain types of solutions like that to make sure that our materials are staying within circulation.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing those. So now we have about 5 minutes left. I want to remind folks to take the survey, but in our 5 minutes that we have left, I bring in some questions from the audience. One person said that companies should switch to a leasing model, and that's kind of related to an actual question about if your products are repairable, does that hurt your bottom line from customers not buying more products? We kind of started talking about that earlier in the conversation, but I'm curious if you all have any thoughts on those questions and thoughts.
I'd say, it's important to repair your items to keep them in circulation longer, but we're continuously innovating, right? And so there are new products out there with, different performance qualities. People are always taking on new activities and sports all the time. So there's constantly a need for new equipment, as well as attracting new participants into the field, into the world of the outdoors and different activities. So we still have, I'd say great participation and no problem selling new products as well.
Anything to add to that? Okay.
Yeah, I would say similarly. Yeah, people's same, you might want a shoulder bag and then you might need a backpack and then, you might need a large suitcase for a 2-week trip versus a carry-on for a shorter trip. You might want soft side, you might want hard side. So, your needs do change over time. I think you also asked about
Yes.
a rental model. We've looked at that for sure. For us, it's probably, I think, a different answer for clothing, but for luggage, we have to figure out how to, especially now, sanitize those products. So getting the product back, it's that logistics, and what's the footprint of that logistics model of dropping off, picking up, sanitizing, getting it back out. So that's a little bit of a challenge. There isn't an existing cleaning infrastructure like you might have for clothing, where you have a dry cleaning process. We're still looking at that, but it is something that we have, we continue to evaluate as a way of implementing.
So same on this end. I think a leasing or rental program has some great opportunity for exploration. Again, we'd have to look at the cleanliness of the gear that's returned to be reused again, but it does provide a nice opportunity for people that are just dipping their toes into new activities and may not have the equipment or the proper clothing, but want to kind of try before you buy type of thing. And so it's a very nice way to introduce people to different experiences without having to say buy all at once.
Great, thanks for sharing those insights. So this will probably be our last question for the audience. This person says, under what circumstances would durability not be the best circular strategy to implement? So I'll throw that to whoever has an answer, if you have one.
Ooh. Well, I think, one way to look at it is if the durability is such that there's no practical end of life solution, right? So, you have to balance that. You have a product that's indestructible, which is good in some respects. I mean, we look at it when we think about end of life solutions, you have to design for durability so that the suitcase doesn't break when it gets thrown around by the baggage handlers, but you also don't want it so durable that you can't practically take it apart you don't want it to fall apart. There's that balance between design for disassembly, it's going to fall apart, design for disassembly, it's durable. And so I think that's the challenge there, is sometimes you can over-engineer the durability such that when it gets to the useful end of life, it's just, there's no practical way to bring it back into circulation, if you will.
Nothing else to add? No worries if not.
No, that you summed it up perfectly.
Let's see, we have one last minute. Actually, we're at 11:55, so I'm going to close this out. But if you all have any final thoughts, feel free to share them right now. Christine and Laura.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of questions that weren't answered. So, feel free to reach out via LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect and answer any follow-up questions you might have. Always happy to talk about durability and sustainability and repairability and anything else that might be on your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again. And I see a lot on, making new parts and different products recyclable and all the rest. So thank you. And yeah, please reach out with any questions.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining me in conversation, and to all the attendees, really enjoyed this conversation.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.